I watched my wife ride another man in the back seat of a car I didn't recognize. No, I didn't walk in on them. I planned this. I hired someone, set the trap, paid in cash, the whole operation. And now I was sitting in front of a 4K screen, my fingers trembling as I hit pause right on her face. Her eyes closed, her nails digging into his chest, moaning a name that sure as hell wasn't mine. Rewind. Play. Rewind. Pause. Over and over. This wasn't some caught red-handed drama. This was evidence, bulletproof and cold. A full-blown surveillance clip my private investigator recorded 2 nights ago. Hidden camera, hotel parking lot, timestamped, GPS tagged. Emily, my wife. The woman I gave my everything to. The woman who smiled in my face and lied through her teeth. I lit a cigarette. I don't even smoke. But watching her kiss him like that, like she used to kiss me when we were broke and happy, I needed the burn. You want to know how it all started? It wasn't some dramatic change. It was little things. Quiet silence between us that stretched longer than usual. Her phone, always on silent. Business trips that didn't match her calendar. Perfume I never bought. Panties I never saw in the laundry. And the way she started looking at me like I was an obligation, not a man. But I didn't act immediately. Because I was raised to handle things like a man. Not whine. Not guess. Investigate. Proof. Execute. So I called Marcus. Ex-military. Now my go-to guy for when sh*t needs to be handled quietly and clean. He didn't ask questions. He just said, how deep? All the way I told him. 2 weeks later, I had everything. Receipts. Videos. Hotel bookings. Text messages. Even the dude's name. Tyler. Personal trainer. 6-pack. Broke. And clearly okay with playing side boy to a married woman. I didn't just want to confront her. I wanted to bury her fake world under the truth. So I planned it out. One night, one dinner, one simple setup. And when she least expected it, I'd flip the entire table and show her exactly who she married. Not some soft-hearted fool, but an alpha with a plan. This wasn't just about betrayal. This was a game. A game she thought she was winning. But she forgot who the hell she married. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't even confront her that night. You know why? Because anger without control is weakness. And I wasn't about to give Emily the satisfaction of seeing me broken. Nah, I'd rather break her reality. So while she slept next to me, breathing like she hadn't just committed emotional murder, I was watching footage of her with that clown Tyler, kissing him inside a gym storage room like it was a damn Netflix romance. That was just video number 3 out of the 7 Marcus sent me. She wasn't just cheating. She was living a second life. And I was done being a background character. I spent the next 3 days playing dumb, making breakfast, asking how her meetings went, even buying her favorite red wine. Every lie she told me felt like a slap I had to smile through. But the plan? Oh, the plan was coming together beautifully. Here's what I did. First, I called Marcus again. I want audio this time. I want their voices. I want him saying her name. I want her calling him baby. No problem, he said. Already working on it. Second, I moved all the cash from our shared account into a private one she didn't know about. I left just enough to make it look untouched. If she noticed, she didn't say a word, probably too busy planning her next sweaty session with Tyler. Third, I rented out a penthouse suite downtown for one night. Romantic dinner. Anniversary style. I told her I had something special planned. Her eyes lit up, fake as hell, and she bit her lip like she still had the right to look sexy for me. If only she knew what was coming. But the final step? That was the masterpiece. I invited 2 guests to our little date night. One was Marcus, hiding with a camera crew in the adjacent room. The second? Emily's best friend, Rachel. Why her? Because she knew everything and never told me. Loyalty matters. Rachel chose wrong. Fast forward to Friday. Emily walked into the suite wearing that tight black dress I used to love, the one she probably wore for Tyler too. I gave her champagne. She gave me lies. This is beautiful, babe, she said, touching my arm. I've missed this. Us. I smiled. Yeah? Me too. That's why tonight's special. I've got a surprise. She leaned in. What is it? And that's when I tapped my phone and played the audio. Tyler's voice. Clear. Loud. Filthy. Damn. I've never had someone ride me like that before. Then her voice. You bring out the real me, baby. He doesn't even touch me anymore. She froze. Face pale. Eyes wide. Like the air got sucked out of her lungs. What the hell is this? She asked, already trying to act confused. I looked at her, not angry, not yelling, just cold. It's proof. Sit down, Em. You're gonna need to hear everything. She stood there, trembling, trying to think of a lie quick enough to save her skin. But nothing came out, because I wasn't done yet. I pressed another button. A live feed popped up. Marcus, standing outside the hotel where she last met Tyler. Ready when you are, he said. Emily's jaw dropped. I looked her dead in the eyes. Now let's talk about betrayal. Emily stood there like a cornered animal, silent, frozen, her fake charm cracking right in front of me. The woman who could talk her way out of anything, who could twist any truth into a sob story, was now staring at a screen showing her betrayal in HD. But snakes don't die easy. What is this? She finally hissed, her voice shaking but laced with that familiar attitude, the kind that always dripped with entitlement. Are you spying on me now? This is sick. She played the victim. That's how twisted she was. Not even 5 seconds after being exposed, and she was flipping the narrative like she was the one betrayed. I didn't flinch. I'm sick. You're cheating on your husband, and I'm the problem. She crossed her arms, stepping back like she was in some courtroom drama. So you've been tracking me like some psycho? Following me around, recording me? That's abuse. Oh, so now she wanted to pull the abuse card? I laughed, loud and ugly. You weren't saying that when you were calling another man baby and whispering how you wanted him to move in once you figured things out. Her eyes widened. I had just quoted one of her private messages, word for word. That's when she knew. I had everything. Audio, video, texts, even her little journal entries she left wide open on her iPad. I had read all of them. All of it. Tyler makes me feel alive again. I'm tired of pretending with Michael. He's so boring lately. Always working, always focused on money. Boring. That's what she called me. The man who built our house, paid her debts, stood by her through her anxiety attacks, supported her career when she had nothing. I was boring because I wasn't playing gym trainer fantasies and taking selfies in hotel mirrors. I walked to the dinner table, pulled out a folder, and dropped it in front of her. Thick, heavy, labeled, Emily, divorce package. Her jaw dropped. Are you serious? You wanted freedom, right? I said. There it is. You're free. You can go chase your six-pack boy toy and your yoga crystal life. But you're not taking a single cent with you. She grabbed the folder, flipping through the papers, her fake confidence shaking. You can't do this. This isn't fair. Fair. I leaned in. You think it was fair watching you grind on another man in a public parking lot? Or lying to my face while texting him in bed next to me? Her mouth opened, probably to toss out another excuse, but I cut her off. Don't even try the tears, Em. I'm not your audience anymore. And then, like clockwork, the waterworks started. Not real tears. No pain in her eyes, just desperation. She wasn't sorry. She was just scared that the safety net she built on my back was vanishing. The car, the house, the vacations, all of it funded by me. She gave Tyler her body, but it was my name on the mortgage. You don't understand, she sniffled, switching gears. I was lonely. You've been so distant lately. I didn't plan this, Michael. It just happened. Ah, the classic line. It just happened. No, Em. Slipping on ice just happens. This was planned. Repeated. Enjoyed. She fell into a chair, silent. She knew there was no coming back. I walked to the window, looking down at the city we once called ours. I didn't feel relief. Not yet. Just clarity. I saw her for what she truly was, a self-serving parasite in designer heels. And I wasn't done. Not even close. I should have known she wouldn't go down quietly. After I handed her the divorce papers and showed her the receipts of her betrayal, I thought, maybe, just maybe, she'd retreat into whatever corner of shame she had left. But Emily? That woman didn't feel shame. She felt threatened, and people like her, when cornered, they strike. The very next morning, my phone started blowing up. Texts, missed calls, DMs, friends I hadn't heard from in years suddenly messaging. Hey man, you okay? I just saw Emily's post. I opened Instagram and there it was. A selfie of her with red eyes and fake tears, captioned, "Sometimes love turns toxic. Emotional abuse is real, even when it's invisible. No one should feel scared in their own home. I'm choosing peace." Emotional abuse. Scared. She was rewriting the story. This woman, who was riding another man in hotel bathrooms, was now painting me as the villain, the alpha male, who turned controlling, paranoid, dangerous. and people were eating it up. Sympathy comments. Heart emojis. Stay strong, girl. You deserve better. If you need a safe space, we got you. Safe space? From me? I wanted to punch a wall. But I didn't. Because unlike her, I played long-game warfare. I called Marcus. She's going public, I said, trying to flip the narrative. He chuckled. Good. Let her dig. That means she's scared. I had recordings, footage, timestamped calls, and messages. But I wasn't going to post anything. Not yet. I wasn't trying to win followers. I was going to win war. First, I sent everything to my lawyer, Brian Hastings, a shark with a tie collection more intimidating than most people's bank accounts. The guy eats lies for breakfast and sues people for sport. I told him, I want my name clean. I want her exposed. And I want full asset protection. He said 3 words. Consider it done. Next, I made some quiet calls. People in our circle who knew me for who I really was. I didn't beg for sympathy. I showed them facts, dates, messages. I let the truth speak for itself. And slowly, the tide began to turn. Meanwhile, Emily doubled down. She told Rachel I had spied on her for months, manipulated her emotionally, and was probably cheating too. She said she felt unsafe around me and hinted that she was thinking of getting a restraining order. That's when I realized something about her. Emily wasn't just a cheater. She was a narcissist, a pathological liar who could twist reality so well she almost believed her own bull's **T. But her biggest mistake? She underestimated how well I knew her. See, I had every dirty little secret she thought I never noticed. Not just Tyler. There were 2 others before him. One during our trip to Miami, another while I was at a business seminar in Chicago. Marcus had dug it all up. Photos, hotel names, phone records. She thought she was clever. But now, I had enough to end her socially, legally, and financially. I sent her a message. Just one line. You really want to go public, Em? Let's go public. She didn't reply, but she saw it. Read at 11:49 a.m. The next day, she deactivated her Instagram, deleted half her mutual friends. And Tyler? Gone. Radio silent. I'm guessing once he realized she couldn't bring her money into the new life she promised, he dipped. She had torched her own safety net trying to play the victim. But the show wasn't over. Because I had one final move. One that would not only expose her, but humiliate her in front of everyone who believed her lies. I didn't want revenge. I wanted a lesson. A public, unforgettable, reputation-crushing lesson. Not just for Emily, but for anyone who ever thought loyalty was optional and betrayal had no cost. I'd spent years building a name people respected. She tried to tear it all down with a single Instagram post. And for a moment, she almost won. But she forgot the most important rule. When you play dirty with someone who plays smart, you don't just lose, you drown. It started with a party. Not just any party, our friend Jared's engagement dinner. The kind of upscale rooftop event where everyone dresses like they're auditioning for an HBO show. Everyone who mattered would be there. And Emily? She wouldn't miss it for the world. I RSVP'd solo. Arrived clean-cut, black suit, calm as a sniper. I hadn't spoken to Emily since my last message. No texts, no calls, no reactions to her pity posts. I let her think I was finished, quiet, wounded, licking my emotional wounds. Exactly how she wanted to picture me. But I wasn't licking wounds. I was loading ammo. Emily showed up 20 minutes after me in a red dress. All smiles, fake laughter, hugging people she barely liked. I watched from across the rooftop as she made her rounds. I saw the confusion on people's faces, the whispers, the side eyes. She felt it too, but kept pretending like nothing was off. Then the music cut. Everyone turned to the projector screen Jared had rented to play a cute photo slideshow of him and his fiancée. That was my moment. Because Jared? He owed me a favor. A big one. And instead of playing his slideshow, I played mine. The screen lit up. Video number 1. Emily in the black Mercedes, climbing over Tyler like a wild animal. People gasped. Some thought it was a movie trailer at first. Video number 2. Audio clips. Her voice. I'm tired of pretending with Michael. I don't want to be his wife anymore. Tyler makes me feel like a woman again. Video number 3. Screenshots of her messages. Explicit. Shameless. And finally, her laughing at me in bed, telling Tyler. He has no idea. I could slap him with the truth, and he'd probably apologize. Silence. Not the kind of silence you get at funerals. The kind you get at executions. Emily's face went white. She tried to speak, but no sound came out. People turned to her slowly, like they were looking at a wild animal in a glass cage. She reached for her purse, stumbled toward the exit. I followed her. Not to fight, not to scream, just to finish the scene. Outside, she spun around. What the F***ck was that? That, I said calmly, was truth. The one thing you never had the balls to face. You humiliated me. No, I corrected, stepping closer. You humiliated yourself. I just hit play. She slapped me. Real hard. Didn't even flinch. I stared at her for a second, then smiled. Guess you still got some fire left, huh? Save it. You'll need it in court. She was shaking now. Desperate. You think this makes you a man? Ruining me. No, I said. Walking away from your bullshit without ever looking back. That makes me a man. I left her there, heels crooked, makeup running, the mask officially off. She wanted war. She got one. But I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't stoop. I outplayed her. And now? She wasn't just exposed. She was finished. They say after a storm, everything goes quiet. But when you deal with someone like Emily, silence is never peace. It's the sound of her reloading. 3 days after the rooftop party massacre, she came crawling back. Not physically. That would have required humility. No, she used the only tool she had left, manipulation. A long, detailed, perfectly crafted email. Subject line. Please read before you destroy me completely. I read it while sitting in my office, black coffee in one hand, the divorce documents in the other. It started with a classic hook. I know I hurt you, but I also know that pain turns people cruel. She painted herself as the victim, again. Said she was going through emotional confusion, blamed childhood trauma, blamed me for withdrawing emotionally, blamed life, stress, Mercury in retrograde, everything but herself. She claimed Tyler meant nothing, that it was a mistake that spiraled. She said she missed me, that she still saw a future for us, that I shouldn't let this dark chapter define what we had. Define what we had. What we had was a loyal man building a future while his wife was riding gym trash in hotel parking lots. But she wasn't done. In the second half of the email, the tone shifted. Subtle threats, sugar-coated in concern. This public exposure, it's getting out of hand. It's affecting my career. If this keeps escalating, I may need to protect myself legally. There it was. The final move. When manipulation fails, they go legal. Not because they've been wronged, but because the one they tried to break didn't stay broken. She wanted to scare me, control me, leverage the system. And guess what? If I were the average guy, it might have worked. One false move, one heated text, one public outburst, and suddenly I'm the aggressor, she's the victim, and the whole thing flips. But I'm not the average guy. I'm the guy who prepared for war. My lawyer had already filed the paperwork. We weren't just divorcing. We were suing for emotional damages, defamation, and attempting to falsely portray me as abusive in public forums. Brian attached the Instagram posts, the messages, the timeline. We had a rock-solid case. I forwarded her email to Brian. He responded with a single sentence. She's drowning and trying to pull you under with her. Don't reach. So I didn't. Instead, I replied to her email with 4 words. All communication through counsel. No emotion. No reaction. Just cold, clean distance. The kind that infuriates manipulators more than anything. And that was it. For the first time, she couldn't reach me. Couldn't charm her way in. Couldn't lie, cry, or threaten her way back into my head. I had built a wall around my peace, and her access was revoked. But she didn't disappear. No, Emily took her meltdown online. Made another account. Started posting vague, healing journey stories. Still pretending she was rising from the ashes of a marriage where she was the victim. I watched silently as her follower count dropped, as friends stopped commenting, as mutuals unfollowed. The court of public opinion had seen enough. Her empire of lies had collapsed. And I slept for the first time in months with a clear mind and a steady pulse. You see, real peace isn't when the war ends. It's when you know your enemy can no longer touch you. And Emily? She couldn't even find the battlefield anymore. The courtroom was cold, sterile. The kind of place where stories lose their emotion and get stripped down to facts, timelines, and paperwork. It wasn't the kind of place I ever imagined seeing Emily, not like this. Not across from me, dressed like some lawyer's assistant, trying to look innocent while her entire world teetered on the edge. But that's where we were. Facing off. Divorce court. No more dinner parties. No more fake smiles. Just two people who once shared a bed, now fighting over the ruins of what they built. Emily showed up with a fresh blowout, pearl earrings, and her lips pressed tight like she was auditioning for the role of grieving wife. Her lawyer? Some overpriced diva with a fragile ego and a cheap cologne cloud you could smell 3 seats away. Meanwhile, I had Brian. Calm, ruthless, and surgical. He didn't posture. He didn't raise his voice. He just delivered facts. And facts don't lie. The judge read through the filings. Infidelity, emotional manipulation, defamation. Evidence submitted. Timestamps, surveillance videos, recorded calls, social media posts. Even her full admission in that pathetic email. It was bulletproof. Emily's team tried to argue emotional pressure. He stalked her. Her lawyer said, motioning toward me. She feared for her safety. Brian didn't even flinch. We have documented consent to location tracking. She approved Find My iPhone 2 years ago. She knew about shared accounts. She used his credit card to book hotel rooms with another man. We have receipts. The judge raised an eyebrow. Boom. Just like that, her defense started unraveling. Emily shifted uncomfortably in her chair. She wasn't used to being on the losing side. I watched her eyes dart around the room like she was looking for someone to save her. But this wasn't Instagram. There were no filters, no crying selfies, no curated captions. Just truth. Cold, hard, undeniable truth. Then it got worse. Brian pulled out the kicker. Your Honor, in addition to emotional distress caused by the affair, my client was publicly defamed on social media by the defendant. These posts implied abuse and mental harm without evidence, while she was, at the same time, actively involved in multiple extramarital affairs. He placed printed screenshots in front of the judge. Photos, captions, time-stamped. Emily's face cracked for the first time. This wasn't just divorce anymore. This was character assassination, and she had done it to herself. Her lawyer tried a weak counter. She was emotionally unstable, not malicious. Brian shot back. She was strategic. She weaponized victimhood for sympathy. That's malicious. And that's when Emily stood up, ignoring her lawyer. Voice trembling, but eyes burning. I made mistakes, okay, she barked. But I wasn't trying to hurt him. He was always cold, distant. I needed affection. I needed someone who saw me. The courtroom went dead quiet. The judge leaned forward. Ms. Green, needing affection does not justify infidelity, public defamation, or financial deception. She sat down, mouth slightly open, like she finally realized there was no redemption arc waiting for her. 30 minutes later, it was over. I walked out of that courtroom with everything. Full asset protection. My name cleared. Legal damages in my favor. She walked out with her purse and a $2,000 fine for filing false claims. Tyler didn't even show up. And me? I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate. I just stood on the courthouse steps, breathing in the cold air. Not because I was happy, but because I was finally free. Everything she tried to take, my name, my peace, my dignity, I got it all back. And more. Not by yelling, not by begging, but by staying one step ahead and never letting her drag me down into the mud. It's funny how betrayal doesn't hit you all at once. It comes in waves. First, there's shock, that ice-cold silence where your brain refuses to accept what your eyes just saw. Then comes the fire, the rage that crawls under your skin and makes your hands shake when you look at the person who once called you love. After that, it's heartbreak, not over the loss of her, but the death of the version of you who believed in her. And now? Now comes the clarity. It's been 6 months since that courtroom. Emily's name is nothing but an entry in a file cabinet. Her voice? I barely remember what it sounds like. Her face? Just pixels from a photo I deleted long ago. She's gone. Not physically. She's still out there somewhere, probably spinning some new story to a new guy, playing the wounded angel, hiding the venom under fake vulnerability. But from my world, she's been erased. You know the most common question I get now? Do you still love her? Let me make this clear. I loved who I thought she was. That version of her? She never existed. I was loyal to a fantasy, faithful to a fraud. I fell in love with an illusion wearing my last name. But now, I feel nothing. No hate. No anger. Just distance. Emotional quarantine. And that's freedom. The pain taught me more than love ever did. I learned how to see through masks. I learned how to trust patterns, not promises. I learned that real loyalty is silent. It doesn't scream or post or beg for attention. It just stays. And her? She taught me what red flags look like in heels. She taught me that some people will kiss you like they care, smile like they're yours, and lie with the same mouth they use to say, I love you. But she also gave me something unexpected, rebirth. You know who I am now. I'm sharper, stronger, unbreakable. I cut off every deadweight friendship that sided with her or stood silent while I was drowning. I changed my circle. I rebuilt my name. I doubled down on my business. I got my body back in shape, my money right, my peace tight. No distractions. No lies in my bed. No snakes at my table. For a while, I thought the worst thing that ever happened to me was losing her. Now I know the best thing that ever happened to me was losing her. So here's my message to any man reading this, watching this, living this. If you feel something's off, it is. If your gut is screaming but your heart is making excuses, listen to your gut. Investigate. Don't confront without proof. Don't show all your cards. Don't fight like a victim. Fight like a strategist. Let her lie. Let her act. Let her dig her own grave with every word she speaks while you build your case in silence. Then when the time comes, you don't need revenge. You need exposure. Let the truth do what fists never can. And when it's over, don't waste years trying to heal by begging for closure. Closure doesn't come from her apology. It comes from you deciding you're done suffering. Look in the mirror, build your empire. And when they ask how you bounced back so strong, just smile and say, I stopped loving the lie. Because in the end, I didn't just survive Emily. I buried the version of me that let her in and became the man she could never destroy.